Hello everyone, I'm Joe Zagacki and welcome to Hurricane Game Day with men's head basketball coach Frank Haith, and Josh Darrow also joins me coming up here in a second. On the show, we'll talk Hurricanes hoops with Frank Haith. In this week's Unlimited Access, we take you onto the court and inside the locker room during the Canes ACC matchup against the Maryland Terrapins. Hurricane Game Day starts right now. Good job. Good pass, guys! We gotta cut harder. Come on, AT! 1, 2, 3. Together! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hurricane Game Day. Joe Zagacki alongside my partner on the radio, Josh Darrow, and University of Miami head coach Frank Haith. The Hurricanes' regular season comes to an end, and the regular season in the ACC coming to a conclusion as well. Coach, the past week ended up with a win at home against Maryland and a tough loss at Georgia Tech. Let's talk about Maryland first. That was a good win at home.
Complete ball game. I thought we executed very well on both ends of the court. Defensively, we're outstanding. I guess Jordan Williams, who one of the better post players in the league, held him to 3 of 17 from the floor. And then offensively, we had 20 assists. It was one of our better performances in terms of sharing the basketball and just executing.
Coach, a breakout game for Ryan Brown offensively. Defensively, he's been giving it to you all season. 6 of 7 from three-point range, and kind of the, in part, sort of the kid you envisioned when you recruited him out of Georgia.
Absolutely. I think he's only going to get better too, Josh. He's getting, he's working on his game, and he can score the basketball. And it's just a matter of him. He's a freshman and just getting better and better. And I think that obviously that ball game he was outstanding.
Coach, then the regular season ended up in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. A really good first half, but the second half turned into a football game. It was tough sledding in the second half, very physical contest.
Yeah, and a lot of turnovers, and we didn't take care of the basketball. They did a great job of coming after us and attacking us. We had a couple plays there, momentum swing plays that, we had a technical that I think got them going a little bit. And but you got to give Georgia Tech credit. They played very athletic, and they forced us in a lot of turnovers. And we didn't execute. We didn't handle the ball, and we did very well in the first half. We just didn't complete the game.
Coach, that being said, in the last half of the season, or coming down the stretch here, aside from two halves, which would be that second half at Georgia Tech and the first half at Florida State, your team has really competed at a high level and played really high and closed strong, despite what they had to overcome the first part of league play.
Yeah, obviously we started out 1-6, and we put ourselves behind the 8 ball, and we did fight very strongly in terms of just to finish up the way we did finish. Those two halves were bad. I mean, and if we could have those back, we would like to have those back. And but I think this team is looking forward to the ACC tournament, and this team is capable of going in the tournament and doing very well.
Coach, it was the season of the close game. 9 games in the ACC decided pretty much on the final possession. So a young squad learned an awful lot this year.
We did, and we got to get to the point where we win a high percentage of those games. And I think that we were 4-5, I think, in those games. And obviously this team is growing, and we're getting better, and we will be better in late game situations. And as the years progressed on, we have become better. But it tells you how the margin of victory is so slim in this league, and our guys made some plays, and then there were some games we didn't make plays.
Can you withdraw some positives from those close games through this season, even as you grow in a bigger sense as a program, year to year with a young team that they've learned or beginning to learn how slow and how small that margin really is?
Yeah, and I think we all learn. I think as coaches we learn too. I think being in those game situations, knowing your personnel, putting them in the right place. I think it's a learning process for everybody, and that's why I want this team to continue to play in postseason. Hopefully we have an opportunity to continue to play some more ball games, and those guys get more court time. Sometimes
growth comes in baby steps. You won 18 games overall. You won 6 games in the conference, up from a year ago. You look at some of the numbers. Malcolm Grant shot 44% from three-point range. Durant Scott's offensive numbers were up, and Reggie Johnson became a full-time player.
Yeah, and Reggie is almost a double-double guy. So the prospects in terms of looking to the future, you look at those three guys, and we we have some nice pieces to put around them. But those three guys are definitely guys in terms of top-notch ACC players.
And the other thing too is it might take some convincing. We've done the research. I didn't get into the computer this morning, but the numbers for your team, heading into that Georgia Tech game, the numbers were you could make a really good argument for your team. Numerically, RPI, strength of schedule. Yeah, you probably need to get a couple more wins, but you're not too far. You may not be as far away as some people might think.
And exactly. I think we had the right formula, and the only thing we did not accomplish was more ACC wins. And I think if we had did that, we would be, not necessarily a bubble team. I think we'd be in the tournament. And but it's something that we got to continue to do, and I think we got to keep that formula. We just got to win more ACC games.
All right, don't go anywhere. There's more to come here on the show when we come back. Unlimited access during the Canes game against the Maryland Terrapins. Hurricane Game Day on CSS is coming right back. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. The regular season has concluded. This season, Coach Haith and his staff and players have granted us great behind-the-scenes access. This week, the team saved the best for last. It's time to take you onto the court and into the locker room in this week's Unlimited Access.
Show the love, man. It's two things that I'm worried about tonight. That's winning and Adrian Thomas. Come on, man.
Man, last home game, man. Let's go out and leave it all out there for him, man. Together, 1, 2, 3.
Together.
Oh, you want that? That what you
You
want?
walk out there like this, you turn
Okay.
around, you tell,
And then I call y'all up?
and you call us and we out there.
Forward! Let's go!
Thomas for three, straight on and good. 25-foot three-pointer by Adrian Thomas, straight on. 12-11. Grant dribbles into a three-pointer. On the way, it's good. Malcolm Grant with a three-pointer now in 17 straight games. Back out to Brown, 4-3 from the corner, good, and the foul to go with it. Ryan Brown hits a right corner three and is fouled. Campbell on the drive, puts it up with the left hand and scores, and Gary Williams wants a timeout. Gary Williams, normally the punchman, is just standing on the sideline stewing. Scott high left for Thomas, throws it into Reggie Johnson against Jordan Williams. And a double team, Reggie leans in and scores with the left hand. Scott on the drive, a kick out to Brown, left corner three in the air and good. Great ball movement by Miami, and the freshman knocks down another three-pointer. Thomas right wing for Brown, gathers, fires, and scores! His third three-pointer of the night.
All you got to do is just keep playing. Protect our home court tonight. That's most important. What did I tell you before the game? What's really important tonight? Two things I'm worried about. Winning and AT. We want AT to go off to finish his career here with a W against Maryland. That's what we want. So that's all we're focusing about. If your game is struggling a little bit, you forget about yourself. It's just like Coach said today. Think about your teammate. Put it on your teammates. Lean on your teammates. Show your teammates some love. Because if we do that, we'll relax ourselves. So trust me when I tell you this. Trust your teammates. Get locked up into your teammates and not into yourself. Some of you, hey, we played a great half as a team. Let's put together 2 great halves. We haven't done that in a long time, and that's a great accomplishment tonight. So at the end of the day, let's say we put together 2 great halves on both ends. And understand this, it all starts on the defensive end, us getting back to transition defense, and then us executing on offense. Not shooting quick threes, driving that ball, sharing that ball, throwing it inside. That's what it's going to take to get a W tonight. They're going to make a run, but we ain't going to let that affect us. We're going to stay together for 40 minutes. We did it for 20. Let's do it for 40. Come on now, let's go. Come on, guys. Trust your teammates. Let's go.
Man, this game out, y'all. Get a win for AT. 3 win. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
Adrian Thomas is open. He's got it. He fires the 3. He connects. A big 3-pointer for Adrian Thomas. Brown has it. Fires for 3. Good! Ryan Brown has been the savior tonight. His 4th 3-pointer of the game. Adams throws it into Reggie Johnson. Here comes a double team. He gets it to Durant Scott, cutting down the lane, and he scores in traffic. And the foul. Adrian Thomas is open. He's got it. He fires for 3. He connects. A big 3-pointer for Adrian Thomas, and a nice find from Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown will take another 3-pointer. Good! Oh, I thought he was fouled. Another 3-pointer for Ryan Brown. That one from about 24 feet. With it, trying to get around Ryan Brown. Pass intercepted by Grant. Off to Scott. 2-on-1. Scott and Grant. Scott on the drive. The layup is good. And put him on the free throw line. He got the foul to go with it. Adrian Thomas comes out and gets a standing ovation. 12-point night for Adrian Thomas.
That's for my man ATZ. Got the Wheezy. Yeah.
MC3!
Yeah, right. We just sent my man AT off with the dub. Feel me? Like, AT, where you at, baby? AT, let's get it one time. Wanna kill it one time, AT? Ha, 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 hey,
Reggie gonna bust one out too. Come on, Reggie. Come on.
Shout out to Brooklyn, everybody back at home, my mom, my pops, my whole family, niece and nephew, man.
Great job, man. 20 assists and 28 field goals. That's showing some love today, man. Showing some love. Guys, we played together. It's amazing. You really trust your teammates and believe in what we're doing. We can be a really hell of a basketball team. We're right there. There ain't a team in this league we can't beat. Great job.
You heard him, baby. You heard him. Let's go. Hey, yo, 318, yo. 1, 2, 3. 18.
All right, a big thanks to Adrian Thomas and a couple of things, Coach. We see behind the scenes video there. We'll talk about Adrian Thomas and his perseverance. That would be one. Also, the fact he only had one senior on senior night. That would be two. But before we get to those subjects, how about just the fact, the camaraderie with your team? They have a lot of fun. And I think a lot of that, the fact that they have fun and they stay together, helped you a lot during the course of a trying season.
No question. When you have adversity and you see those guys and they stay true to the course. And that was a routine, I think, those guys have been practicing on. It's they were really together. But it's good to see. And, winning is fun. And I want our guys to have a lot of fun.
Adrian's, maybe talk about Adrian briefly. You really have made it a point over the last couple of games to to really sort of designate those last couple of games to be for Adrian, both home and away. He's been through a lot, and he's really also been playing really good here down the stretch. But why that connection with Adrian?
Well, obviously we all love Adrian, and we want Adrian to have an opportunity to play in postseason. And we went to the NCAA tournament that one year when Adrian was on the team, but he was injured that year. So it'd just be great for this team to play and Adrian to be a part of postseason play. And he's meant so much to our program, and he's basically been with me the whole time I've been here. He really has. I mean, he's part of our first recruiting class. I think he's our first commit, the first home visit I did when I took the job, and then he's been here for 6 years after that. So he's a special young man to UM basketball.
Finished the season's last 5 games averaging about 12 points a game, so he's playing very well. Don't go anywhere as we continue here on CSS. When we come back, we'll take a look at the ACC tournament. That's on the agenda next for the University of Miami. Stay with us here on Hurricane Game Day. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. Joe Zagacki alongside Josh Darrow and University of Miami head coach Frank Haith. Hurricanes begin play in the ACC tournament, and for the most part, your history in the tournament, you've always done some damage there. A year ago, went to the semifinals. This year, you open up with Virginia, and if you win that one, you'll take on Carolina. But maybe let's just talk about the history of this tournament and why it's so important to you.
Well, obviously, it is the ACC champ, and unlike some leagues, the regular season champ is not the champion of this conference. It's whoever wins the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament. So it's an important tournament, and a lot of pageantry. To me, there's not a greater conference tournament than the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament. And maybe I'm a little biased because I grew up in North Carolina and been a part of it, but being in Greensboro is very special.
You've told us a lot of stories about growing up and sneaking out or listening to the tournament, but we were talking with someone who's very close to the program, and the thing that made a part of, I'm guessing, you correct me if I'm wrong, part of the reason that the ACC tournament was so special back then is that whoever won that tournament not only was the champ, but that was the team that represented your league in the NCAA tournament, because only one team would go. So I'd imagine back then it was just off the amount of intensity was off the charts.
Yeah, and when you're only talking about one postseason bid and being that one win a tournament, you can imagine. And but it's a special tournament. I mean, a lot of great players, a lot of history. When you talk about Atlantic Coast, when we get there, and I always look at the highlights, and seeing Randolph Childress and some of the great players that have played in the league, and but a lot of great history.
Coach, you have played well in this tournament, and going in to this tournament, you can play with any one of these teams, and you can beat any one of these teams.
Yeah, and I think we got a clip of me saying that to our team there after the Maryland game, and I really believe that. I really believe this ball club is good enough to beat anybody in this league, and we've proven that. We've played with everybody. We start with Virginia, a team that we did beat here. In overtime, it's not going to be an easy game, and could be very ugly at times because of the way they play. And we understand if we're fortunate enough to get past that game, we play a North Carolina team that went down to Harrison Barnes hitting a last-second shot. So it gives every team has hope when you get to tournament play to try to get yourself in the postseason.
What the Virginia game you said could be ugly, their style of play. What the reasons for that? Why the tempo they like to play out? Some of the things they like to do.
Their tempo, and in terms of how they play offensively and how they play defensively, you're not going to get transition buckets on them because they don't go to offensive glass. They get back and set their defense, and they're very physical. You got to execute against them, and you got to throw the ball inside and anticipate getting double teamed when you throw the ball inside because they're very active.
They can shoot the 3-ball as well.
Very good three-point shooting team. At times they can put 5 guys out there can shoot the 3, and so we got to guard the 3-point line extremely well.
All right, we will come back and wrap things up here on Hurricane Game Day with University of Miami head coach Frank Haith. Miami in the ACC tournament. We'll wrap it up right here on CSS. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. Joe Zagacki, Josh Darrow, University of Miami head coach Frank Haith. Hurricanes in the ACC tournament. First game against Virginia. If they win that one, the grand prize is North Carolina. It's 4 games in 4 days if you go all the way. Last year you played 3 games in 3 days. Maybe talk about the preparation, because there's not a lot of time. If you stay in this tournament, there's not a lot of time to prepare for your next opponent.
No, there's a lot of meetings at night and walking through in the ballroom. So, but there, that's the beauty of, we played the tournament in Vegas this year to prepare you for games like for tournaments, the ACC conference, the conference tournament. So I think our guys, we went through it last year, and it's a fun time. You got to get yourself ready, and your focus has got to be on point.
I imagine for the kids too, they play so much basketball year round, even before they get to college, that 4 games, 4 days, back-to-back game, just the ability to get out and play. They got to look forward to that, because it's just you get some prep, but you're going out and you're playing.
Yeah, and I think Duran Scott said it best last year in the tournament. He said, "Shoot, when I was in AAU ball, we'd play 3 games in a day. So there's nothing like it." But exactly, you just got to go out and play.
And through the years, you've had some great games at the tournament. In Greensboro a couple of years ago, you beat Clemson, then played Duke right to the wire. Last year, you go to the semifinals against Duke after winning the first 2 games. Even in Tampa, you opened up with a win against Maryland and took Boston College to overtime. So your team, for the most part, has been a tough out.
We've played well in the tournament, and hopefully we'll continue to play well. And our guys have looked at it as a new season, so to speak, and an opportunity to continue to play and take advantage of the opportunity.
Plus, it's another chance for your team to pick up good wins. You have a Virginia team with 7 wins. A second round matchup against a team that won the regular season, just to get to the semifinals, which means there's more opportunities to take on good competition. As you continue, as you said earlier in the show, you really want your team, that this team really could benefit from more court time, whether it's the ACC tournament or what's beyond.
Well, you said it earlier. This tournament in the past has been whoever wins this tournament goes to the NCAA tournament, and that's our goal, is to win the tournament to get a chance to go to the NCAA tournament.
And of course, also, the play in postseason period, which begins with the ACC tournament, it looks like you're going to get an NIT bid at the very least.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to speak too soon, but hopefully we will. And but we got to continue to play, and I want us to show well in the tournament and get ourselves. I want us to win the tournament and get to the NCAA tournament.
All right, Coach. Thanks very much. The best of luck in Greensboro at the ACC tournament. All right, the Hurricanes will be taking on Virginia in the first game at the ACC tournament. We're back next week. For Josh Darrow and head coach Frank Haith, I'm Joe Zagacki. Thanks to the crew. We'll see you next week right here on Hurricane Game Day on CSS. Adrian Thomas is open. He's got it. He fires the 3. He connects. A big 3-pointer for Adrian Thomas. Brown has it. Fires for 3. Good. Ryan Brown has been the savior tonight. His 4th 3-pointer of the game. Adams throws it into Reggie Johnson. Here comes a double team. He gets it to Duran Scott, cutting down the lane, and he scores in traffic, and the foul. Adrian Thomas is open. He's got it. He fires for 3. He connects. A big 3-pointer for Adrian Thomas, and a nice find from Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown will take another 3-pointer. Good! I thought he was fouled. Another 3-pointer for Ryan Brown. That one from about 24 feet. With it, trying to get around Ryan Brown. Pass intercepted by Grant. Off to Scott. 2-on-1. Scott and Grant. Scott on the drive. The layup is good. And put him on the free throw line. He got the foul to go with it.